From the Library of Congress in Washington, D.C.
Hello. Welcome to the Library of Congress National Book Festival and to the Grace Lin event. Before we hear from Grace, I must advise you that this event is being videotaped for subsequent broadcast on the library's website and for other media. You are encouraged to offer your comments and raise questions during the formal question and answer period. But please be advised that your voice and/or image may be recorded for later broadcast as part of the event. By participating in the question and answer period, you are consenting to the library's possible reproduction and transmission of your remarks. My name is Lorraine Tong, and I work for the Congressional Research Service at the Library of Congress. My department conducts research and analysis on public policy issues for members of Congress, congressional committees, and staff. Our work is confidential, authoritative, and objective. That means that in my work, I don't have a personal opinion. But on this beautiful day and at this book festival, if I were to have an opinion, I would say this about Grace Lin's body of work. Her art and words are imaginative, vivid, witty, whimsical, and full of charm. Several of her books are about Asian Americans, but I have found that her books have universal appeal. They transcend borders and cultures. She writes engaging stories that a child can easily relate to, and yet they reflect a deeper sophistication that a parent and an adult like me can appreciate. The first Grace Lin book that I read was Ling and Ting, Not Exactly the Same. It's about twins, and my twin cousins, Tiffany and Lucas, are just beginning to read, and they were especially excited to read Grace's books. And now we have Ling and Ting share a birthday. As many of you already know, Grace Lin is an award-winning writer and illustrator of over a dozen books for early to middle grade readers. Her first book, The Ugly Vegetables, features Grace and her mother. It was published in 1999 and won several awards, including the American Bestseller Association's Pick of the List, and was named a Growing Good Kids Book Award Classic. The Boston Public Library honored Grace with the Literary Lights for Children Award, and she was an Astrid Lindgren Memorial Award nominee for the United States. Grace's Newbery Honor book, Where the Mountain Meets the Moon, was chosen for the Today Show Kids Book Club and was on the New York Times bestseller list. That's a lot of awards. Among Grace's other books are Bringing in the New Year, Fortune Cookies Fortunes, Starry River of the Sky, Kite Flying, and so many others. You can explore more about her work and her books, novels, and listen to her interviews, as well as read her blog on her website, gracelin.com. That is one word, GRACELIN.com. Grace grew up in upstate New York with her parents and two sisters. While her sisters became scientists, Grace dreamed of becoming a champion skater. Fortunately for us, she took a literary path instead and graduated also from the Rhode Island School of Design. So instead of becoming a champion skater, Grace is a champion writer and artist. It is now my pleasure and honor to present to you Grace Lin.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming. After that wonderful introduction, hopefully you all know who I am. I'm Grace Lin. I'm an author and illustrator of all different kinds of books. I write and illustrate picture books, early readers, and novels. Probably my most well-known novel is this one, Where the Mountain Meets the Moon. How many of you know this one? Okay, good. Well, the book I'd like to talk to you about today is this book. It's called Starry River of the Sky, and it's the companion book to Where the Mountain Meets the Moon. It's not a sequel, but it does have some of the same characters in it. So it's not about Min Lee, but it's about a boy named Rendy. Now, the boy Rendy in this book becomes so angry with his father that he runs away from home. But as Rendy discovers, sometimes when you are running away, you get stuck in one place waiting for a chance to keep running. And sometimes when you are stuck, what you are running away from catches up with you. As the book opens, Rendy is a stowaway in a merchant's cart. Before the cart can take him further away from home, he's discovered and left behind in the village of Clear Sky. This is not a good place for Rendy to be stuck because the village used to have a mountain, but the mountain is now gone and the sun blazes down brutally all day long. And the village used to have a moon at night, but the moon has gone missing, and all night the sky moans from missing it. Now, Rendy is made angrier being stuck in a village where the sun and moon did not behave like they should, and most of the villagers have fled. He is not, as you can imagine, very interested in helping this village. He's only interested in finding another opportunity to run. You, the reader, might want Rendy to become a hero, but he's not ready to become one yet. But one day, a mysterious woman named Madame Chang comes to the village of Clear Sky and starts telling stories set in a long ago Chinese legend. These stories are old, but could they mean something to Rendy? Could they help him? Could these stories help the village of Clear Sky? And most importantly, will these stories help Rendy become a hero? So I'm going to read you one of the stories that Madame Chang tells. But the best stories are stories where all the listeners have a role. So I'm going to ask all of you to help me act out this story. So first of all, I need someone to play the Spirit of the Mountain and someone to play Wang Yi's wife. Would anyone like to be Spirit of the Mountain? Okay, come on up. You're Spirit of the Mountain. Come on up. All right, and you have a seat right here on the floor. And I'm going to give this to you. Okay, this is you. Woo. And now I need someone to play Wang Yi's wife. Who'd like to be Wang Yi's wife? You come on up. And you have a seat right there, I'll tell you when to come up too. All right? All right, now I need 6 volunteers. 6 volunteers to play the 6 sons of the story. So 6 sons. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And you guys come on up here. And you're gonna stand around. This is our pool of water. So you guys come on stage. The sons come on stage. And everybody take a son. 1, 2, we're gonna have to get really close and squishy because it's a small stage. 3, 4, is that 6? All right, okay, so we have the 6 sons of stories. All right, so can you stand right there? You have to get really squishy. I'm sorry that we're all squished. All right, has everybody got this? Do we have 6 sons? Did you have your son? Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I think she has 2.
Oh, do you have 2? Ah, here you go. Great. There you go, 6. Okay, so this is the story of the 6 sons. It's an ancient Chinese legend from my book, Starry River of the Sky. Okay, actually, you two, why don't you sit by the edge so that way I can call you up when you need to come up. Okay. All right. All right, ready? Okay, long ago, so long that only the sky, mountains, and water can truly remember, 6 suns appeared in the sky. So everybody holding their suns? These 6 suns caused great suffering and devastation to the earth. Rain boiled away before ever touching the ground. The trees and the plants withered, leaving behind only the scorched earth, burned and browned. So everyone pretend it's really hot and bright. All the villagers were forced to live like worms, crowding in an ancient dark hole in one of the hills. As they began to starve, they also began to despair. Everyone give a moan of despair. But then a rumor began to murmur at night, perhaps sent by the Spirit of the Mountain. Can the Spirit of the Mountain come up? Yes, Spirit of the Mountain, please. Spirit of the Mountain. mountain, please come up. Come on up. Yes, that's you. The boy, please come up. Okay. So a rumor began to murmur at night, perhaps sent by the spirit of the mountain above. And what did the spirit of the mountain say? Say it really loud.
The one marked with power can save you. The one who bears the mark of power can save you.
Very good, thank you. You can go sit down over there, and you stay here. You can just, okay. But then, the people looked at one another in confusion until a man stepped forward. His name was Wang Yi, and he was the strongest and bravest and quickest of all men. He had already done many great deeds. They had said he had tamed the flooding water serpent with just the fierceness of his eyes, and he had killed the single-toothed earth giant with his mighty strength. But more than that, Wang Yi had an unusual scar on his forehead. It looked like the character Wang, the symbol of power. Who would like to be Wang Yi? Would anyone like to be Wang Yi? Who would like to be Wang Yi? Anyone? This girl, come on up. Woo. All right, do you mind if I write on your forehead? It comes off. There you go. Okay, hold on 1 second. Now you come towards me. Just let me grab this. Okay, come on over. Okay, you get this. You hold that. All right. It must be Wang Yi whom the spirit of the mountain meant, the people said. The scar is a mark of power. Everyone say the scar is a mark of power. But when Wang Yi stepped on the scorched earth and gazed at the 6 suns, he knew his strength and fierceness would not help. He had to stand in the shade of the mountain, for the ground lit by the suns burned his feet. Act like your feet are hot. Everything on earth was suffering. Even the giant tree next to the mountain seemed to be withering. Wang Yi realized he could not fight the suns. His only hope was to shoot them down from the sky. So suns, hold up your suns are way up in the sky. Wang Yi tried to shoot his arrows at the sun, pulling his mighty crescent bow so they made the full shape of the moon. So try to shoot them down. Don't worry, there's nothing in there. Go ahead. But no matter how powerfully he pulled, the arrows could not reach. Over and over he shot until the shade of the mountain disappeared as the suns moved overhead. So was Wang Yi able to shoot down the suns? No. Wang Yi's arrows could not reach the suns. Finally, with only 6 arrows left in his case, Wang Yi looked down in defeat. So step forward and look down in defeat. It was then he saw the reflections in the pool. The great lake had shrunk because of the heat, but the shade of the mountain had saved it from completely vanishing. There was still enough water for him to see the 6 suns reflected in it. So 6 suns, please put your suns in the water facing up. I will shoot them here, Wang Yi said. So here you go, take one of these arrows and and you're gonna put one in the sun, okay? And with his back to the mountain, he quickly placed an arrow in his boat and shot at the reflection of one of the suns. As the arrow flew into the water, a sun sank from the sky. Sit down, please. Wang Yi fitted another arrow and shot again. Sit down, please. Another sun fell. Immediately, the people felt a change in the temperature. Everyone gave a sigh of relief. They crawled out from the hole to watch Wang Yi shoot the 3rd sun. 3rd sun, and then the 4th sun. But as everyone cheered, everyone cheer? As everyone cheered, Wang Yi's wife was thinking. And what was she thinking?
If he shoots all the suns, we will forever in darkness.
So Wang Yi's wife said, if he shoots all the suns, we will be forever in darkness. So knowing better than to disturb her husband's concentration, she crept behind Wang Yi as he prepared his arrow for the 5th sun. Okay, now you take this one. Hold on a second. With all eyes on Wang Yi, only the mountain saw as Wang Yi's wife silently took the 6th and last arrow from his case and swiftly hid it behind her. As a result, after shooting the 5th sun, Wang Yi looked in his case, look in your case, found it empty, and laid down his bow. Lay down your bow. And that is why today we have one sun in the sky. Thank you very much. You can all sit down. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. So that is one of the many stories in Starry River of the Sky. And hopefully, when you hear that story, can you imagine Randy hearing that story and what he might be thinking? And how might that help change him into somebody selfish, into somebody maybe not so selfish? So those are some of the stories in Starry River. And hopefully, you guys get a chance to read some of the other stories. Now, let me just clean this up a little bit. Now, Starry River of the Sky, one second, and Where the Mountain Meets the Moon also have a very important protagonist. He's called Magistrate Tiger. How many of you remember Magistrate Tiger? Okay, good. Well, there's a reason why he's called a tiger, and that's because in Chinese culture, a tiger is a very important animal. Now, everybody knows about the dragon in Chinese culture, right? Because Chinese people love the dragon, they revere the dragon, and that's because the dragon is very, very powerful, is considered very, very powerful, but also considered very good. Everybody knows that the dragon is a good creature. Now, the tiger, however, is a little bit different in Chinese culture. The tiger is considered always very powerful, but you never know if a tiger is good or bad or not. So there are stories where tigers come down from the mountains and destroy whole villages, but then there's also stories where tigers come and protect small children. So a tiger in Chinese culture is kind of unreliable. You never know if it's good or not, but you always know it's powerful. And the reason why the tiger is considered powerful is because of this symbol right here. Let me show you. And this is the Chinese word Huang. And if you remember, Wang Yi had that scar on his forehead. And that scar looked like this Chinese symbol because this is the Chinese word for king or power. And you know how they say that a lion is the king of the beasts here in the United States? Well, they call the tiger the king of the beasts in China because they say that the stripes on his forehead make him the king of the beasts. It says that he's the king, and that's what gives him all the power. So what I thought I'd do now is teach all of you how to draw your own powerful, lucky tigers. Would you like that? All right, so I think, I have some paper and some crayons. If you guys would like to come up, if anybody would like to draw along with me, come on up and get some paper and crayons. The crayons, after you're done with them, please return them because they belong to my daughter. She'll be really upset. But you can keep the paper. So everyone take one crayon and one piece of paper. They can take the paper home, but the crayons, so the paper is yours to keep, but the crayons, please return, or else my daughter will be very upset with me. Okay? And please, after you take your paper and crayons, please go back to your seat. Here's crayon. So after you take your one paper and one piece of crayon, please go back to your seat. Sorry, it's kind of a free-for-all, huh? So you've got your paper and crayon. Go ahead, back to your seat. Thank you. Here, I'm going to pass, maybe you could pass some papers out of there. And here's some crayons, if you want to pass some crayons out over there. Some people, there's paper and crayons here. These people here have some paper and crayons there. Oh, 10 minutes left? Oh, no. 10 minutes left? Okay. All right, we only have 10 minutes left. So please sit back down so we have enough time to do the drawing. Okay, here you go. All right. Okay, so we're going to have to go kind of fast. Okay. All right, so here you go. Okay, so, all right, so first thing I want everybody to do is have your paper vertical, which means tall, up and down. All right? Now, first thing you're going to do is you're going to draw a nice big U shape. Nice big U shape. All right? shape, I want you to make a C shape like that. Then on the other side, make another C shape. Okay? Connect those two C shapes together with a nice curved line. All right? Now, inside the C shapes, make two more C shapes. Okay? Now, I want you to find this point right here in your face. I'm sorry, we're going to have to go really fast. And I want you to make a sharp triangle that points down. It's very important that your triangle points down. And then color it in nice and dark. All right? Now we're going to make it a nice, friendly tiger. We want it to be friendly, so we're going to make him look like a teddy bear by doing a nice J-shaped mouth like that. A J and a backwards J. Now, from the top of your triangle, I want you to do a big upside down J. And then on the other side, another big upside down J. Okay? Now, on this side, I want you to follow this upside down J right before it curves, do a nice half circle, and color it in nice and black. Then I want you to do that to the other side. Follow it, go half circle, color it in nice and black. Okay, now we're going to do the stripes on the face. Now there are some lucky numbers in Chinese culture, so you want to put lucky number of stripes on your tiger. A lucky number is the number 6. The number 6 sounds like the word smooth or easy. In Chinese, it's a homonym. So let's say you have a test next week and you want it to go smoothly or easily, you can put 6 stripes on your tiger. Another number is the number 8. The number 8 sounds like the word for prosperity or wealth. So if you want some money, you can put some 8 stripes on your tiger. Another lucky number is a number 9, and that sounds like the word for forever or long life. So if you're sick right now and you want to be healthy, you want to have a long life, you want to put 9 stripes on your tiger. I want things to go easily right now, so I'm going to put 6 stripes. And the way you do it is I put 1, 2, 3 on one side and 3 on the other. If you choose 8 or 9, you can put some on the chin, but do not put anything on the forehead, because the forehead is reserved for this power sign. So there you go. Color in your stripes nice and dark. If you need to put some stripes, if you choose 9 or 8, put some on the chin. All right? And then when you're done with that, you can copy this symbol, Wang, which means king or power, and put that right on the forehead. And that is what makes your tiger powerful. And that's the same symbol that Wang Yi had, and it's very important that you know about the tiger and that power symbol when you read Starry River in the Sky. So I hope you guys get a chance to do that. So are we all out of time? Are we all out of time? Oh, in 5 minutes. Okay, I rushed so fast because I thought we were out of time. So does anybody have any questions they'd like to ask me? Okay, go ahead. Oh, there's a microphone coming.
Where do you get all your ideas from?
Where do I get all my ideas from?
Oh.
That's a very good question.
Thank you.
Well, I get ideas from all different places, usually from my real life, and each book kind of has a different place where I get my ideas. Like Where the Mountain Meets the Moon and Starry River the Sky, those ideas came to me when I went traveling to Taiwan and Hong Kong and China. But there's books that I did like The Year of the Dog and The Year of the Rat. Those books are from my real life. So you can see I get ideas all over the place. What's your question?
Why did you decide to write children's books as to adults?
Why did I decide to write children's books instead of adults? That's because I love children's books. Children's books are the books that I love the most out of all the books that I've read. They're the ones that I remember the most and the ones that have meant the most to me. So when I decided I wanted to be an author, I wanted to write the books that I love the most and the ones that I most remember. So that's why I write children's books.
What's your favorite children's book?
What's my favorite? Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't realize there was somewhere there. Let me just, what's my favorite children's book? I have too many to list. The first one that came to my head was either Charlotte's Web or Anne of Green Gables. Okay, over there. I'm sorry, I didn't see there was questions there.
Oh. What are the flavors of mooncakes?
What are the flavors of mooncakes? There's many different flavors, and nowadays they have like all these unusual flavors like green tea and pineapple. My favorite is pineapple, though it's not traditional. I think the traditional ones are like lotus seed, and some of them have eggs in them. I'm not too crazy about that. Okay, let's do 2 over here because we.
Are the folktales in your stories ones that you made up? Are they actually real?
Okay, so are the folk tales in the stories actually real or made up? They're both. Most of them are based on real folk tales, but I kind of changed them a little bit here and there to make it fit my story. But almost all of them are real folk tales from Chinese mythology. Okay, let's do this question here.
How do you get like all your work done with a baby?
Can you say it one more time?
How do you get all your work done with a child?
How do I get all the work done with a baby? I just had a baby. She's about 17 months now, and I haven't done any work really since she's come. So all my books are from before she was born. Okay, go ahead.
Hi, aspiring author, illustrator. And you obviously draw a lot from folk tales and such. So do I, but I'm sort of curious as to how you decide which ones work best in your narrative.
How do you decide which ones work best in the narrative? I think a lot of the times the story kind of tells me what goes. Like there's a lot of folk tales that I love, that I'd love to illustrate, and I try to fit them into the story, but it doesn't work, and you just can't force it. Just whatever seems to fit fits. It's kind of very organic process, and sometimes I have to go and look for stories to find something that'll fit. So it's just a lot of research and a lot of like trial and error. Good luck.
Thank you.
Okay, let's do one more question. Go ahead.
How did you come to be an author?
How did I become an author? Okay, well, I have a book called The Year of the Dog, and it's called The Year of the Dog not because there's any dogs in it, but because it's about my life during my very first year of the dog. Because hopefully you know in Chinese culture, every year is named after a different animal. And during my very first year of the dog, I entered a book contest. I was in 6th grade, and where you wrote and illustrated your own book, sent it into this national contest, and if you won first place, they'd publish your book. Well, I sent my book in. I did not win first place. I won 4th place, but even though I didn't win first place, I won 4th place, and I also won $1,000 with 4th place. And because of that, I was so excited, and I decided then and there I was going to be a children's book author and illustrator forever. I write about that in my book, The Year of the Dog. So that's a completely true story in that book. So I think that's about all the time I have. I'm also doing a literary lights readers theater presentation at 4:30 today at the Special Programs Pavilion, and it's going to be great fun. We're going to do another scene from Starry River to the Sky, so I hope you guys can come to that. And thank you very much. I think I'm signing over at the author's tent.
This has been a presentation of the Library of Congress. Visit us at loc.gov.